Howdy Folks, hope we're all having a great day today. I'm going to have a little talk to you about transformers, and specifically the ones that I tend to scrap out. First thing you want to do when you get a transformer is make sure, for me what I do anyways, make sure it's the easy one. You can see we've got a weld here on a single seam. So what happens though is sometimes you get the ones that are interwoven, and for me those ones are a pain in the butt, not worth the time. So once we find the transformers that we like to scrap out, we check to make sure that they're copper. We take a quick file to them. Both coils are copper. Sometimes there'll be one aluminum, one copper, sometimes both aluminum. So it pays to check. You don't want to be sitting there doing all this work for a couple of aluminum ones, where you can just toss those right into your transformers bin. So what I'm going to do here is we'll get this set up, and I'll show you the weights, and we'll just see if it's worth scrapping. Alright, so let's get this one on the scale and we'll see what it's at. So 8 pounds, 15 ounces. We'll round up to 9 pounds for purpose of our calculations. And now, depending on what yard you go to, you might get different prices. So I'm going to go with the prices I got at the 1 yard a little while ago, and it was 12 cents a pound for motors. So when we multiply that 9 pounds by 12 cents. Hopefully, smack everything around. So we got 9 pounds. We'll multiply that by 0.12. You get $1.08. So let me get this set up now, and I'll show you how I get the copper out of the transformer. It's a little tip that Jack the Scrapper showed me. Unfortunately, he's no longer making YouTube videos on scrapping, which is too bad because I learned a lot from him when I first started years ago. So like I said, let me get this set up, and I'll show you real quick how we get the copper out. Alright, so hopefully that's all set up so you can see. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the transformer on an anvil that I have. Then I'm going to take an old hatchet that I got, as well as my mallet. We're going to put the hatchet along the seam, and we're going to give it some pretty good whacks to crack that seam. So just as an example here, I'm not too sure how loud this will be, but basically we start at the top and we go all the way down. Like that. So let me get that cracked, and I'll show you what we do next. So as you can see, we're now through. Alright, so this one decided to be a little bit more difficult. This plate will normally pop off, it's pretty easy to pop off sometimes. However, this one's been, if you can see that here, it's been spot welded onto the base. Not a problem though. All we gotta do is just get something in there, pry it up so that we can actually get access to this middle part here. Okay, so now, like I said, normally this back plate pops off. It's not that big of a deal that it hasn't though. We can still get access to what we want. So what we want to do is we just want to rest it in the vise so that the steel part can go down and the copper will just stay behind. So what I do is I take like this is a steel rod out of a printer, and I take the mallet and I just start pounding it through. Alright, so after a few whacks, you can see that as I'm pounding it, the shims are starting to break apart. So basically what we're doing is we're just pounding this through to release the copper. Alright, so as I was pounding it through, you can see that we're starting to get some separation of the shims, which is alright. I did have to bend this back a little bit more because as I was pounding it down, it was coming over top. And the shims popped out, a bunch of these shims popped out, so that's alright. So let me finish getting this copper out, and then we'll do some weights. And there we have it. So that all came out pretty good. If they're not too small, you can toss these in with your prepared. It's alright. And then here are the 2 chunks of copper. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean these up a little bit, and then we'll do some weights. We'll separate the wire, and we'll just clean up. What I do anyways, I clean up this paper and remove anything that's not copper. Alright, so for some quick weights, the steel came in at 7 pounds. What was that? Some numbers here. 7 pounds. Just over 7 pounds. So we'll use that in our calculation. So we should have just under 2 pounds of copper if everything works out. 1.5 pounds probably. So let's give that a check. So actually, I forgot about a couple of steel shims that were separating the two coils, and that bumped us up to 7 pounds 4 ounces. Alright, so we do end up with a little bit of insulated wire as well. Not quite an ounce of that, so it's pretty negligible. But then the copper, we get 1 pound 9.3 ounces of number 2 copper. So let's do some quick math in this. Alright, sorry for the messy numbers here, but hopefully we can get it out. So we started with just about 9 pounds of a transformer at 12 cents a pound. It worked out to $1.08. So what we then did is we broke it all down. I rounded the steel down to 7 pounds, and I only counted it as shred price, although I'm pretty sure we could get a better value, but just for the sake of argument, we went with shred. And then I went with the number 2 copper price I got the other day. For the steel, like I said, I rounded it down, so we got 17.5 cents for the steel. For the copper, I broke it down by ounce. So 210 divided by 16 ounces to a pound gets you 13 ounces. I had a total of 25.3 ounces at 13 cents a pound. Works out to $3.29 for a total of about $3.47, which is just about triple our normal price if we didn't break it down. And once you start getting into the swing of things, it really doesn't take very long to break these down and set them up. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope it helped you out, and it shows that some transformers are worth breaking down versus others. For me, the ones that have the interwoven shims, you can tell how they are. The shims will be interlocked like this. They're not really worth my time to take apart. I tend to spend way too much time on them versus the value. These ones though with the weld, once you start getting into it and you know what you're doing, you can set up a nice little assembly line, and it goes really quick. I find you can get quite a bit done in an hour, and as we see, you get 3 times the value. So works out good that way as well. So I hope you found this video helpful. Again, I apologize for being kind of all over the place, but hopefully you're able to piece it together and understand my reasoning behind my rambles. Anyway, I just want to say thanks for watching. Please have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao. Oh, and one more thing for a couple of my viewers. Go Oilers, go. Have a good one.